Hey, what's going on? Good
There you
evening
go.
over there, David Singleton. How are you?
Good morning to you guys over there. How are we all doing?
Doing so great. It's wonderful to see you again, and thanks. We had a great chat last month, and now
Yeah,
today over in the United States here, it is February the 14th, Valentine's Day. So,
it's
uh,
the same here. Big love, everybody.
big love. That's exactly right. Big love. Big love to Los Angeles Rams. They won the Super Bowl yesterday, and we had some big love going out to Team USA over in Beijing. So they had a couple of great wins. Kaylee Humphries and Alana Myers-Taylor get gold and silver in the monobob, a very new event. And then Aaron Jackson wins gold in the 500-meter speed skate. Really great. I think we can learn a lot about teams during the, when I talk about the individual performance, and then you of course talking about the greater teams, what I think is fantastic and really powerful out there. So yeah, so how are you all doing?
Yeah, well, it's Valentine's Day here as well, and I think there's love is in the air. And it's funny, as a pal of mine messaged me last night. Hey, David, I'm in town from England. Can we meet for a cocktail tomorrow night? And I said, well, there's no chance of us getting in any bar this evening, but we've managed to find a corner of somewhere tonight and a friend of mine's cocktail bar. So that's about as romantic as I'm going to get. Industry chat with an old pal of mine. We used to work out together. I haven't seen him for about 10 years, so it's going to be really cool to see him.
My wife works for the Love Airlines. So Love Airlines, of course, Southwest Airlines. And so she is on the way flying back. So I have a few more minutes and hours before I have to get her some, but she doesn't like chocolate. So I'm done. I'm a guy. I'm done. I can't do it.
Diamonds
So
it is.
Get her something very nice.
You've got a host full of ladies you got to look after.
That's right. I got a host of them. But anyway, let's jump into this conversation today. And we wanted to just kind of make sure we're having this, moving forward. And the topic of the day, we're talking about team performance, empowered and engaged teams. So this was, I think, sent in, or we came up with this topic. And what comes up for you when you think about empowered or engaged teams?
It's interesting, empowerment in a team is something that's really, really difficult for, I'm in our investment office here, and we're working with entrepreneurs and SMEs and businesses that are growing. And it's very, very difficult when you have an entrepreneurial environment for the entrepreneur to really empower his team in many cases, because he wants to kind of keep a hold of everything. And very often I find teams that are empowered in the front line are high-performing teams. What's our purpose? What's our common goals here? What are we working on? Now go get it. Now really go after it. And every now and again we might make a mistake. We might trip over. We might fall over. We might do something. But let's get over it and let's move on. And an empowered team is a really dynamic team. And I think that goes hand in glove with an engaged team, John.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this when I saw the question come. I was like, I kind of went a little bit, what's a story around that I'm, an example of an empowered team versus one that's endangered, or engaged, an engaged team. Yeah. And I thought about, I let in with Callie Humphries, who used to slide for Team Canada, and she had some issues with the coaching staff. And she was married to an American, and she winds up leaving Canada and coming over to Team USA. Gets a couple months right before they go over. Team USA goes over to Beijing for this new sliding sport, and shifts. The thing of, she did not feel uplifted or empowered in the environment that she was. So she totally switched countries to go to a place where she thought that she was going to be it, and then she wins gold for another country. So we can see the impacts and the effects of when people don't feel supported. And maybe that's what's going on with, the Great Resignation right now, that people are not feeling supported, not feeling empowered to do the job that they were tasked and hired to do. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I've always had this mantra that I've never really wanted to work very hard in my life. And I have worked very hard, which is true. But I want to work really smartly. But the only way for me to have built high-performing teams, and I mean really high-performing teams, is that I have to engage them and I have to empower them. If I need to step back and just watch the House of Fun emerge, and I've always run restaurants all my life. I've designed, I've created, and run restaurants, and I've had to empower them to develop them, John. And I always want them to be at the next level to where they're at, for them to really, really feel good. If you want to be the restaurant manager, work as a restaurant manager, walk like one, talk like one, act like one, be like one, behave like one. And it's the same in sport, And I remember when I worked with a ladies football team 20 years ago. And I don't know if I remember telling you this story, but my daughter was a footballer, soccer to you guys over there. And these girls wanted to play Premiership football. There was 10 leagues between where we were and to playing Premiership football. And I said to them, we will give you all the skill, all the knowledge, and all the empowerment to do this on the field of play. We will create that for you. And long story short, we did get there. Sorry, we were 8 divisions and we did it in 10 years. We became Premier League champions, because I'm not an athlete, I'm not a footballer, but I have those leadership skills. And we created that environment for them to really, really prosper and be at that next level. And I always use the field of football, the sporting arena, to the workplace, John. And I really do believe in that.
Yeah, I think it's a great example, of how what happens when we believe in folks and we can entrust them. I have found just growth in myself and trying to understand in my little small company that I have. We're mighty with 3 people, right? So, but I found that some of the things I took, like either Myers-Briggs or some of the Clifton Strength Finders, that I not so much of understanding what my strengths are, and I always have a little card here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I love those cards.
Which is Maximizer, Woo, Belief, Connectedness, and Developer. Those are my the 5 that kind of come out for me. The interesting thing is, do I find somebody that looks like this, or do I find somebody else that is different? Because I don't like the weeds stuff, right? Stuff that's down in the weeds, that's really hard for me. Not that I can't do it. It's just not it's not me having fun. I'm fun when I'm having the vision and being able to execute this a larger thing, and then finding somebody. I have on my team this wonderful PR person, Patrice. She's just golden. And she loves the details. She loves the weeds. She loves connecting the little, if you have, I like the puzzle pieces that have 2 pieces. She likes the puzzle pieces that have 1,000 pieces, right? So, so that's kind of the, and gelling those 2 groups together. And I don't even want to be in her lane, right? I said, you tell me how to show up in your world. And I don't, you're the expert in that. And I empower her through those words to say, this is your area, this is your lane, and I understand that you're building the company up from the way that you see it in your space. That's going to take me a longer time to do it.
But when you have purpose, and I was running a session last week with a team, what's my purpose, and what are our goals here? When you do have that purpose, when you build that sense of purpose up as a team, that everybody is empowered. I think there's Kennedy, when he went into NASA, and he asked the janitor, what is it you're doing here? And he said, I'm helping to put a man on the moon.
Right.
And there's someone who's empowered, I guess, in the workplace. They're all on the bus together, all in one direction here.
Yeah, so the empowerment, we know that it's there, and we alluded a little bit earlier to what happens when it is not there. Yeah. So, what are some of the dangers that, or the dangers of what can happen if teams don't feel empowered, and what can leaders do to make sure that doesn't happen, or maybe the telltale signs of we're going over a cliff right now, and I need to stop the bus before I have a disastrous accident like a Kaylee Humphreys shifting over to another country to win a medal for someone else.
Well, it's exactly the thing. People leave.
Right.
You know, if I as a coach or as a leader cannot engage my team to such a point where we're not like this, we have to be like this, especially today when we've had two of the toughest years of our lives we are ever going to have. I hope they have been the toughest 2 years of our lives. Oh my God!
Well, you know what the old adage is, the old the quip is the woman comes in from the future in her spaceship and she lands back in 2020, 2021, and she says, "Oh my gosh, David, what year am I in?" And David says, "You're in October of 2020," and she says, "Oh, right, the first year of the pandemics."
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's so true. Yeah.
Omicron, Delta, all these things that keep on going.
But I think we are so much better prepared for what is ever going to happen. If and I hope we do have another pandemic. I think we're in much better shape for it.
Yeah, I would hope so. I hope we get there.
So what else? So when we don't have an engaged team, people leave. And we spend our entire lives looking to replace, and we're not focusing on our core purpose. We're not focusing on what do we truly stand for as a business. We're not satisfying our guests, our customers, our clients. They're going to leave, and it's this ever decreasing cycle of panic, of chasing, what. And we just lose focus. We just lose complete focus on what we're going to do.
I had one of my this woman that was working for me. So she left the organization, and I was like, I told her, "Oh my gosh, you just fired me!" Right? So so she's laughing. We're having a good because she was really a wonderful worker for us, but she had a great opportunity come, and I think that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to increase people's performance so much that if they do leave, that they're set up for greater success, right? I really do celebrate. I just talked with her the other day, and one of the things that she wrote to me, she said, "John, what I always ask, what did you learn? What was the thing that you learned?" And she said, "I learned that I am the one that has the expertise in this area." And that, when you say to me, I ask you, should we do this? Because you ask me that all the time. Should we do this? And I said, "You're the expert. You tell me. Is this what's going to elevate the company?" And she's like, "What?" She never in her 30 plus years of well, not even 30, probably 15 years of working, had anyone ever asked her or told her, "That's your job. That's not my job." Right? You're the one I've empowered to do this. And that was a tough place for me to get to. I'm just going to be really totally frank. Don't let me interrupt. Somebody said, "Don't let me interrupt. Keep the conversation going." Okay, you can interrupt. We want to know who you're out there and saying. And it was really tough. And the where I found David, where I was able to kind of release those things and know that people were in the company because they believed in the value, they believed in the mission of it, they believed in the vision, which is to inspire world, not to inspire the world, but to inspire worlds. And those are like ripples going out. But the way we're measuring them are echoes that come back to us. And the echoes are what it bounces against and it comes back to us. And that kind of course corrects us. And so my wife and I took holiday, and I said, "This is it. I'm not going to touch the computer. I'm not going to pick up the phone, except, take my pictures on holiday." And I think of the 8 days that my wife and I were gone, I touched it one time.
Really?
There was one issue that came up that the team just couldn't handle, right? They just needed a little bit of direction because it would have been not disastrous, but we just want to make sure that we're always having this value put forward. And so they called me, they apologized profusely. They said, "We got everything. We just need an answer on this." It took 15 minutes and I was done. We're out. One time.
How did you feel, John? 8 days. How did you feel?
I was invigorated, right? I said, "Oh my gosh, they even sold 2 events." I was like, "Holy cow, this can happen!" Yeah, I was just totally blown away.
Amazing.
I shouldn't have been, but it felt really gratifying. It gave me
True.
wings, it gave me lift, and it made me want to create that cycle to give them more, right? To celebrate what they are doing.
How do
Yeah,
they feel? How does
say
the
again.
team feel? How does the team feel now of that empowerment to make
Oh,
decisions?
they think I'm just gassing them up now.
Yeah. There's something coming.
Patrice is like, "Oh, you're just gassing me up, man. You're just gassing me up. Just let's go." And I'm like, "No, you're doing fantastic work.
Yeah.
Stop it, right?" So,
Yeah.
so being able to embrace the compliment, being able to embrace the authentic, I really do. I can't advance the company myself if I'm having to do all these other little things, right?
Correct. You've got to make room, haven't you? You've got to
Yes,
make room for growth.
right. And so we expand, and so that's the thing. I wanted to chat with you real quick because you said something that I've been really it's been in my lane now for I guess a couple of uh, probably about 2 years now, and that's this notion around hard work. And you said hard work versus smart work. And if you're out there right now and you have a question, please come in and ask us a question. We'll be out here for about another 5 to 10 minutes. We're on with David Singleton, leadership coach and mentor, and myself, John Register, inspirationalist, keynote speaker. And we're having these coffee chats. I actually have my coffee cup right now. And for the Winter Games, this is my curling cup.
How cool is
that? So my curling, yes,
Hey.
of the coffee. David and I, we're gonna put together a global coffee shop. We'll have our own mugs and everything. We'll be selling them for $10.99. No, there we go. But
So
you know,
smart versus smart.
Yeah, smart versus hard. The interesting thing I found is, at least in the U.S. market, right, is that I have seen. I no longer. I think we have to work hard, right, and smart. But there's these buffers, there's these barriers, because I've seen people that have worked really hard and accomplished very little. I've also seen people that have worked very hard and accomplished a lot. And I've seen those individuals that haven't worked very hard at all and accomplished a lot, or haven't worked very hard at all and haven't accomplished anything. And a lot of that has to come to the leadership that's out there in honoring and valuing who the actual person is for the job. Going back to the Olympic Games, we have Brittany Bowe and Aaron Jackson. So great story. It's a fantastic story. Aaron Jackson wins the gold medal for the 500 meters, stops a 28-year drought for the United States. Bonnie Blair is the last person to win the gold medal. But she's the world's number one. She's an African-American skater. She only got on the ice 5 years ago, and she is at the Olympic trials, and she has a very small stumble, which puts her into third place and kind of off the team. So the teammate that she's with, who she's grown up with in Ocala, Florida, Brittany Bowe, has made the team both in the 1,000 and now the 500 because she's now on the team. But she's not the fastest skater in the 500, so she relinquishes that position to Aaron Jackson. She gives the position over. And this is her recognizing that Aaron has done the work. She's the world's number one, and she has the best opportunity for the performance. So in her powered position and privileged position, because she's earned the spot, she then yields the power and the privilege over to Aaron Jackson, who then goes on to win the gold medal because she is the world's number one, and she just lays it down. And Brittany gets 16th. And kind of turned about being fair play. Another side part of the story, the flag bearer, Alana Myers-Taylor, for the United States, comes up with COVID, and so she has to be quarantined. So she gives the position over to Brittany Bowe to actually walk the American flag in. So it's kind of just one of these things.
Yeah.
Now speed skating did get another spot, and that's it wouldn't have been that she would have been off because they probably would have selected her for the team anyway. But the gesture for that is really understanding how I want the best talent, the number one person on my team to be in that position. I don't need to usurp my authority and push it in there. And that's truly the power yielding itself to someone else that has power to elevate them, instead of yielding it in the heart, because they could have said, oh, you worked hard, you really worked hard, but you know what, you stumbled, you didn't really make it. So the opportunity there is gone for you now. And I think I just want some of your thoughts on that, and how that can be blocked or advanced and celebrated when we talk about hard work and the smart work.
But also, I think that whenever I've been blessed, I've built teams and started teams and companies from scratch over the years. And one of the first things we sit down and agree is, what's our purpose? What are we going to be famous for? What are we here to do? And everything has to go to that critical point. What's my purpose? And what am I here to do? And as a team, then that's what we work on together. And when you build an organic team, it becomes very, very powerful. And those people you bring into that organic team, because you have to do that, you have to bring additional talent and expertise as you grow. And the alignment of that is very, very critical. So invariably, it's not me that's hiring the team. I'm doing the selection, but it's the team that are hiring the team. Yeah. And if we like that individual for whatever purpose it is they're going to do, then we get even stronger. So it is, and I work on this a lot when I'm doing my team coaching. We sit down and say, what's my purpose as an individual? What's my purpose to this team? The janitor, I'm helping to put a man on the moon, and to the sales guy, to the guy on front desk, to the chef, the culinary guys, I'm helping build a $30 million business. And or if it's a quality goal, or if it's a whatever goal, everyone is aligned, and that has to cascade through the team, and it has to come from the CEO, the head coach, whoever it is at the top. And
can you give like one example of what you might do as a tool to make that engine begin to run? Just one tool for us today.
Yeah, I focus on my headshot. What's my sweet spot? And perhaps we can talk about this some other time.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
What's my economic engine? What am I here to do? What can I be the best in the world at? And what's my purpose? When you overlap those three circles, and you get your sweet spot, and that's what we really, really focus on. And then, I know you asked me for one, but I'm going to give you two. I overlay the flywheel on that, and when we really, really work on these things, and I'll share it with you separately, John, so you can see that. And I work with that as a team, and ultimately, the Stephen Covey Level 5 leadership is something that's truly, truly powerful with these things. But sometimes, John, it's the simplest thing. Sometimes it's those simple things. That it's the accumulation of success, the accumulation of results. And as an athlete, you must have seen that, when you take that 1/10 of a second off, boom, you're off again, aren't you? And when you miss it, when the 1/10 of a second is in the wrong direction, it's hard, isn't it, to kind of come back from these things.
It is. I like that. What just triggered for me in this, before we get ready to close it down, is those 10ths of seconds or the 100th of seconds, whatever. We can see them move, and if we chart them across a timeline, right? Whether we want to go down or whether we want to rise up in performance, whatever that might be. Sometimes in golf you want your score to go down, right? And then other sports you want your score to go. So what I find is that, as long as I can begin to see that I'm going towards my goal in the right direction, whatever way the direction is for me, then I'm good, as long as we're inside that little window of it. When I first started running the 400-meter hurdles, I really didn't understand the race, but I could run a 400, right? And I could hurdle. I was just trying to marry the two together.
Yeah.
And so my first race was, I think, around 54 seconds. And then my second race is like 53.5. And then my third race is 52. So I'm going down and I'm making huge chunks because I can hurdle and I can run a 400. I'm just marrying the two together. And then it starts, the times start getting closer because now I'm getting to a plateau of where I really need to understand the race and conserving energy, where to push, where not to push. So I finally wound up at about 49.8 right before I had my injury. And I was, and the great Edwin Moses said, you know, you were on the same trajectory I was on when I was trying to get to my, you know, to win an Olympic gold medal. Now, if I would have got there or not got there, I don't know if I would have or not, but I was at least on that trajectory that I could actually see inside of that window. And you're right, it makes you feel fantastic because you can see it over the longevity of the in sports. And I think, you know, as far as the work product is concerned, we can see it over the longevity of the company that we're moving in that right direction, and outside the blips and anomalies of a global pandemic as well.
When I run, I'm running at the moment. This time of year is popular with my stretch workshops, and you know, it's the beginning of the financial year. We've got a new set of goals. We've got a new budgets. We're invariably building on a great set of results from the previous year. So we do what we call our stretch workshop, and this really is, you know, what can we really do this year? These are our goals. But when we break them down, and if I've got a team of 50, you know, it's not a team of one, it's a team of 50, and if everybody's got a part of this, $30 million or whatever it is, what can we really truly achieve? And we institutionalize from top to bottom our stretch goals. And it's not all about finance. Finance follows. Finance follows people and quality expectation. And then if we have those, you know, really truly focused, then our fiscals always come. They always come in the end if we're truly focused on that. And historically, quarter four has been our golden quarter. But if you've missed quarter 1, 2, and 3, you're super screwed when it comes to our golden quarter. So I want to flip the mindset. You know, quarter 1 is our golden quarter. Because what if, you know, we end up having COVID strain, I don't know, whatever, in quarter 2 and quarter 3. I want each and every one of my coaches to maximize their bonus because that's what they're here for. You know, none of us are here on holiday. It's all about how can I buy my wife a bigger diamond on Valentine's Day, and you know, this is when the bonuses are being paid this quarter from last year. So let's work on it now, and that's when I talk about my purpose. What's our flywheel? And there's a whole other session in that, I think.
I think so. So how do people get a hold of you?
They go to my LinkedIn page, everybody, David Singleton. You'll find me there, and they can connect with me. I've got my Instagram page as well, Coach with David. They can connect with me there too. And but LinkedIn is always I populate most of my stuff on LinkedIn. What about you, John? How do we get hold of you?
Yeah, mine as well. LinkedIn is probably the best where I do most of my work. I do a little bit on Instagram as well, but on there I think I have a link tree so that you can find website and all the other stuff too. So LinkedIn is definitely the place to find me. I'm always on there. Probably keep it on way too much. But that's the thing.
What cool stuff are you working on this month, John? What cool stuff are you working on this month?
Oh wow, yeah, I have an interesting presentation coming up with Alcon, and so they do some ocular things, and so there's a big conference that's coming up, as well as, you know, we're shifting an organization, the National Speakers Association here in the United States, and I serve on their board of directors. So we have some great conversations around relevance and what's the new shift for you know, speakers and the new ways in which we're showing up for. And when I mean speakers, I don't just mean the keynote speaker, right? You know, it's all of it. It's how we elevate the spoken word around the globe, around the world. So that's kind of what I really mean. And I think there's a real need for individuals. It's easy to get somebody from inside your organization to do something, and but you're just kind of saying the same thing that people have heard, and sometimes people aren't willing to go as far as they really want to because of they fear some retribution may happen to them, but they really get that out there. So allowing another person, another voice to come in to say what you can't say, sometimes really pushes the organization to a different level. And so that's when I'm coaching, speakers on that. That's exactly what I'm focusing on. Go to what you need to say to the organization, and don't hold that back, because they really want you to say that, because they can't say that themselves, right?
It's
And
so
so
true.
it helps them move. So that's what I focus on a lot on. It's been great. And then for I didn't even realize there was some great for holiday, because I believe we also need a respite. We need a target to rest. So you work hard, and then you got to break. You got to, just like a 400-meter runner, you have to get the rest and recovery in order to work out hard the next day. So my wife and I put a target on the board at late March, and we're just going to take off for like 2 or 3 days, so that we can just recover again, catch our breath, and then come back into it. So I think that's the next thing as well.
I've been talking a lot about that at the moment, John. People talk about, what's your work-life balance? Okay, what if we had a life-life balance?
Yeah, right.
And because our work is our life, if we're really truly enjoying it. We're here and up, aren't we? And what's my life-life balance? And so that's a bit of a mantra for me at the moment. And I said to a friend of mine the other day, and he said, the only time you can speak to me is at 7:30 tomorrow morning. I said, cool. I said, I'm going to phone you at 7:30 in the morning while he's walking to work. And I kept him company all the way to his office, and I made a point of it. I said, open your laptop now, let's look at your diary. I said, how many of those meetings are you in control of today? Because you told me you were back to back. I said, now cancel 3 of them.
Yes. There you go. What?
Yeah. I said, cancel 3. 3 of those meetings you are not in control of. And you have not put them in your diary. And he did that, to be fair. And I checked in with him 10 days later, and he changed his mentality of his diary and other people being in control of his life, his day. And so you do have to take time to stop and go again. Even if it's like 10 minutes in the workday, go switch everything off, go meditate over a coffee, go in a corner, just go and have some namaste. It's so important.
Absolutely, 100%. Oh my gosh, this has been such another fantastic conversation.
Listen, it's Paddy's Day in March.
In March,
Valentine's Day today.
Yep.
We do this again on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we do it on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
The week is that. Let's see.
Is it whatever that Monday is? Whatever is it? I don't know. We can throw it out there.
Let's see. 17. It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. You want to do this on Monday or Thursday? You want to do it on Thursday?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
And then I don't. These national days.
Love it.
Because St. Patrick's Day is celebrated widely in America, I think. Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
Chicago owns the River Green.
Exactly. They do, don't they? We'll have a pint of Guinness on Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
What should we leave everybody with, John?
Well, we were talking, I think earlier. I can't remember if I said it on the show or earlier. One of the things that after my mom had passed, I was having trouble getting back into engaging my day, right? It was really tough. And so I always talk about what are the rituals you have in place that lead on to a rhythm, that elevate you to a rise, that create the results that you want. Well, I was having a problem getting my ritual going, right? And I just couldn't, it was all over the place. I just couldn't focus. And so God dropped this acronym in for me to help me understand what I needed to focus on. It's just for me. It's for everybody. But it came out as SMERP, SMEERP, SMERP. And that was like, John, you just got to SMERP things, right? So, and so it stands for sales. So focusing on your sales, your marketing, your education. What are you going to learn today? And then the exercise, we're just talking about that. Take the respite, take the break, get up, walk around, exercise. Mm-hmm. And then the R is for research. How are you going to research things that you might need to do? And then the last thing, of course, is preparation for the next day. It started out as, and now it's like preparation for a keynote I might have coming up or a coaching session that's coming up. How are you going to prepare for that? So always taking time in those buckets and looking at your day. And it's really helped me get back in center again and focus. So that's what I'll leave everybody with. Everybody, smear your day, smear the day, baby.
Maybe let's put that up on the LinkedIn, and
Yeah,
I can,
I'll put it up
I'll share that as well.
I will put it up on that as we hear yours.
That's fantastic, John. It's great to see you as ever.
Absolutely.
I'm enjoying
something today.
I'm enjoying your commentary on the Paralympics, and you're keeping everybody informed on that, and we'll do this again next month.
I love it. I'm going to put that up on the what's it, research, and I'm just writing these in right now. There we go, and I'm going to show that. Boom, there we are. Smear.
Fantastic. All right.
It's a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and continue to work hard and work smart.
Great job, everybody. Good to see everybody, and good to see you, John.
Good to see you as well. All right. Bye for now.
Take care.